It's that time of the year when Uncle Sam pays us back. That is, if we overpaid on our taxes. And our money guy, Town & Country's Tony Walls, he's here to tell us how we can make the most of those tax refunds. Tony, welcome back. How's it going today?
Hey, doing great, Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks for asking. So how should we approach spending that tax return if we do get one?
Well, if you're fortunate enough to get one, I think the first thing is, when I talk to my members, is have a plan. It's easy to get it and just throw it in the checking account, and over time, you spend it here and there. But maybe set it aside in a savings account and get an idea what you want to do with it. Do I want to spend it on some things for the house? Do I want to pay down some high interest credit cards? An emergency fund is always a good way to keep maybe $1,000 back in case car repairs or medical or things that pop up during the year. So the main thing is just to have a plan of what you want to do with it, and then kind of go from there and kind of get a handle on it.
And so is that plan how people can make the most of those funds, or are there other ways they could do that?
I would say one of the big things is, over the year, a lot of us will ring up some credit cards here and there. And it's a really good chance to get kind of that infusion of cash and pay down some of that high interest credit cards. So you want to make sure that, do I want to pay ahead on my car loan, which is at maybe 3, 4, 5%, or the 25% credit card. So you really want to make sure that you're paying off the right kind of things and doing that.
And so, yeah, you just mentioned that debt repayment. Now, people might have a lot. And so, I mean, when you're talking to someone, you could have student loan, mortgage, car, maybe that RV or something that you have in the driveway as well. What should they look at to say, okay, we're going to put a little bit more towards this one versus this one?
That's a fantastic question, Jordan. I would look at it this way. Maybe you have a loan that has the $200 payment, and if you only have $1,000 or $2 left, maybe go ahead and pay that off and free up that money month per month. But I think the big thing to look at is interest rate. Typically, obviously, your credit cards can be higher. Your home loans and secured debts are going to be lower. Unsecured loans are typically higher. So just say, for instance, an auto loan is 3%, an unsecured loan maybe 8, 9, 10%. So you always want to look at paying off the higher interest first, so that you're saving yourself money that way, and then kind of move on from there.
Keep more money in your pocket. I like the sound of that. And so what are some of the best options if people are thinking of saving that cash?
Saving that cash right now, with rates so low on auto loans and everything else, some of the CD rates are a little bit lower than we've seen. One of the best things is some of the high yield checking accounts that are around town. Here we have our Star Rewards checking that'll pay you 3% on anything up to $20,000, with some terms and conditions in there. But making 3% on 10 grand is $300 a year. So it's really good to look at what options you have. And if you keep it in a checking, that money's liquid. So if you do need it, there's no withdrawal penalties or anything. So right now, that's the best option of anything under maybe 20 grand that you have in savings, to maximize and have your money work for you a little bit.
And so if people like the sound of that, how can they get a hold of you so you can help them get their money working for them?
Absolutely. They can come to any branch in town. We do have several. Or they can go to townandcountry.org, and they can check out our products online, or feel free to give us a call, and we can go from there too. All
right. Tony Walls, our money guy with Town & Country. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep. Thanks, Jordan. Have a good one.
Here, coming up on today's show, we have more on how you can work to live your best life with Bergstrom. We'll have more on that right after this.